time to move on to the market report, which of course is brought to you by Cars and Bids, the reason that we're all here, Cars and Bids. I want to talk about under $10,000 cars. We had a few great sub 10K cars close. Nick, you watching these sub 10Ks anymore? Are you bigger and better than that?
Oh no, I'm all over it.
Nick, Kenan, type in Focus ST. Let's start there. Right. We had a Focus ST yesterday, today, I don't know when, sell for 4,700 United States dollars.
That is
4,700 United States dollars. Now, this car had problems. It's got a bad Carfax. It's got old tires. It's got a little rust, etc. But this is a damn cool car that sold for 4,700 United States dollars. Okay, that's a real thing that happened. And by the way, this is a low result. The car had issues, but there are other Focus STs that are pretty regularly selling for between 6 and 10 grand. Like if they're modded, if they're rough, etc., etc. Okay, that's one.
Even at slightly higher, that is such a cool
very
car.
bad news for me.
Daily.
As we intend to sell our 2014 Ford Focus non-ST, and I'm hoping to get more money than that. So I think I'm going to have a chat with my wife on what the realistic values are.
Okay, so then pull up Audi S6, Kenan.
Oh yes.
Now, we just sold an S6.
Oh my God, the V10.
V10 S6 for 7,400 United States dollars.
What could possibly go wrong there?
7,400 bucks, 435 horsepower V10. Again, it had a bad Carfax. It says that the right high beam is in op, the TPMS is faulty. Again, the tires are old, but $7,400. Now, when I was a kid, by the way, cars at this price point had flaws. Okay, so that's still the case.
Yeah.
People are gonna comment and be like, "Yeah, but it's gonna blow up tomorrow." Listen, it's sub 10K, okay? You're not getting a perfect car, all right? But this is a V10 S6. Now, type in Protege, the other big sub 10K sale. This Mazda Speed Protege just sold for $4,600. Now, a Mazda Speed Protege doesn't get a lot of love or excitement. However, this was the predecessor to the Mazda Speed 3, which is a car that a lot of enthusiasts love. It had a turbo engine. There were two special variants of this Protege. One was called the MP3, which didn't have more power, but this one did. It was a turbo 4-cylinder, front-wheel drive, but it's a turbo 4, just like the Focus ST. And it just had a massive service. It had a $7,000 recent service. New head gaskets, new camshaft seals, crank seals, water pump, timing belt, all this stuff. Spark plugs. It was a big service. So this car's ready to roll. And it was a cool car. I know it's old and it's got miles and all that, but it's 4,600 bucks. And I'm reminded because every time we post some crazy result of some car with 2 miles, we get all these Instagram commenters being like, the market is ruined. And it's like, yeah, this STI with 2 miles just sold for 150 grand. But there are still legitimate enthusiast cars sub 10. They have been hit. They have problems. They are not as fast as modern cars. Yes, all of that is true. There are cars out there, though, that you can have fun with sub 10K, and they are on Cars and Bids. Boom.
I had 2 more cars sub 10K on my watch list that ended this past week. Yeah. A 2002 Lincoln Blackwood. Reasonable miles, like well presented, 6,600 bucks. Finding a pickup truck, a decent pickup truck for 6,600 bucks is hard enough on its own. Yet alone, like a full size with a 5.4 liter V8. Like, I'm into this. Like at this point, you could use this for your landscaping business or what have you, and like just be baller.
Can you imagine a landscaper truck?
I would hire him.
Blackwood, you'd absolutely
for $6,000. For $6,000, you're basically just buying a Super Crew F-150. These were all 2-wheel drive, but yes, I totally agree with your point. Yeah, absolutely.
And then there was a Range Rover, actually, that sold for $3,200. I mean, top of the line British luxury vehicle.
Okay, well, that's not a special. Range Rovers are always selling for $3,200, and that doesn't surprise me at all.
One day you will see P38s are going to be the cream of the crop, the most expensive.
And the buyer probably overpaid. However, the other cars, the other sub 10K cars, are just a reminder. And then people, whenever I talk about cheap deals in the market, people are like, yeah, but an S6 is going to blow up 2 seconds later. Listen, we're sub 10K. The cars are not going to be great cars. They're going to be cars that are fun, and you buy cheap, and either you put money in and make them nice, or you roll the dice. But nonetheless, there are good enthusiast cars to be had at affordable price points on this site and elsewhere. And every time anything sells for crazy money, some super low mileage car, I just want people to remember that these cars are legitimately out there and legitimately cool, period.
And that argument that it could blow up applies to anything, right? You could be Stradman's Gallardo. There's a stop sale on Jeeps, Wranglers right now saying park them outside and don't drive them because they might burn to the ground. Like, this applies to any car. There's inherent risk when you buy a vehicle, especially an internal combustion engine vehicle, which literally has explosions every time you turn it on, that it might blow up.
Yeah.
Such is life.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that generally. I mean, that's certainly what a used car salesman and an auction website would say. Hey, anything could happen to anybody at any time. Those cars are obviously higher risk, but
who hasn't blown a motor or a trans once in their life, you know?
You're right. Who hasn't money shifted? That was always true, though. Even when I was a kid, a $10,000 used car was always a bit of a gamble. Like, they were not the cream of the crop. They were not nice stuff, even back 20 years ago. Nonetheless, they are there. And if you have, the car enthusiast market has passed me by, I can't afford anything, there's stuff there. There is still stuff.
Yeah.
You may not be able to afford what you want, but there is still cool stuff at a reasonable price point.
Not only the S6 had the V10 in that area, the S8 did as well. Mm-hmm. And those are also sub 10K gettable, which, I mean, just
my understanding,
so
those engines
luxurious.
Actually, I mean, I think this car is a Tesla. It's 113,000. I mean, like, they're relatively, I've been told they're relatively reliable. The engines are, like, solid. It's a lot of the other stuff that is a little bit more questionable surrounds it, but, like, the engine's pretty good.
I wouldn't want to take the gamble if I was spending my last $7,400 on the car, right?
I agree. But like, you know, if you've got, like, there are exceptions where you can make, especially if you're an enthusiast who wants to work on the car and, like, learn all this stuff yourself. There are ways around. There are ways to do it. I think it's cool that there are still cars out there like this, and I'm into it.
Speaking of that vehicle, remember Mitchell Corman? He drove the Audi R8 to the Arctic Circle on YouTube, and it went super viral. He just did that in a S8 V10. He drove it to Labrador, which is the most eastern point of North America, I believe. But again, like, I think he bought this car, I think he said, like, well under sub 10. He had to do some work himself on it, and it had some issues along the way. But again, just like, how cool is that? I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot cooler than a lot of other BS you're buying at that price point. Anyway, I'm happy that those cars are still transacting there, and reminded every time anybody accuses us of, you're running up the value on the STIs by selling super low mile. There's still good stuff out there. There's still stuff that sells affordably. It exists. I think people want to both be picky and be cheap, and that's never been.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Right. But that's never been possible.
Me and Filippo, that's our design brief. We came out of womb and our mother said, let them be picky and cheap.
Are you ready for your next cool car? Sell your enthusiast car on Cars and Bids. Trading in your car to dealers means you aren't getting market value for your car, leaving you with less cash for your next fun car. Just look at our recent sales of these cool cars compared to current trade-in value. This is a trade-in offer, and this was the Cars and Bids result. This is a trade-in offer, and this was the Cars and Bids result. This is the trade-in offer, and this is the Cars and Bids result. Get started now on carsandbids.com. Sell on Cars and Bids and join the best community to sell your enthusiast car.